or summer.
I think the sun's out. Is the sun out? I feel like I'm just blind. I should have worn my sunglasses with that freaking pink blazer on today. No, did you hear about this stupid thing that someone's doing?
All right, what are we talking about this week?
She birthed me. Except the Housewives, because that show should never be on TV because it actually makes people that watch it worse human beings.
It's because people like to judge other people.
The conversation is moronic, as are the people that are on the show, because they're staring at them all day in a damn zoo.
So a bear is going to start picking its nose?
He might.
Welcome to the You Need to Listen podcast, episode 10. We've made it. How many months does that mean we've done it if we've done it every other week?
2.5 months?
2.5 months?
Yeah, that's
all right,
good.
Here we go.
So far, so good. We get a lot of good feedback. And keep that feedback coming, by the way.
Do you feel like this feels a different creative void now that we're doing an actual show together, too, every day?
Easy answer, yes, because I feel like I miss it if we don't do it.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
why I came to work every day this week, even though I'm sick.
Because you love doing the show.
Because I love doing
the
show.
show's a whole different, I don't want to say animal, but a whole different thing. It's like we get to like relate how we feel about something to the actual news of the day. This is more of a broader, like, no, did you hear about this stupid thing that someone's doing in this case?
Intellectual conversation?
Yeah, high level, but like still have fun and still say the F word like you like to do all the time.
We should have a clicker.
How many times we say it?
Yeah, we should do a swear jar.
My mom, lovely Agnes, used to count how many times I said like hell or damn on the show, because I always like to weave them in when I'm trying to be like demonstrably like upset about something. Mm-hmm. She go, you said like hell or damn like 26 times in that week. She would count them because she was a loyal listener. Don't you love that about my mom?
Sure.
Have you ever met my mom?
I have not.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
All right, what are we talking about this week?
She birthed me. All right, reality TV. This has been kicking around.
You've been wanting to do this topic for a long time, so we finally have a reason to talk about it.
Yeah.
So the reason being, last week, news, and now they've denied it, so we should put that caveat in there.
She did. She being Kristi Noem.
Secretary of Department of Homeland Security. Mm-hmm. Secretary, right?
Yeah, Secretary.
She's denied that this was actually in the talks.
You know it's real, though. It was a conversation that happened. You know it's real.
And so the news had broke that there was serious conversations around a reality show pitch from a Duck Dynasty millionaire matchmaker. And he's apparently has been pitching this for a while.
Oh,
it wasn't just because of the current administration. And the producer...
Mark Burnett?
No. It was Warsaw. I forgot what his first name
was. Don't
know him. He said that it was supposed to be an inspirational show. It's not supposed to be callous. It's not supposed to be cruel. But when you just read the description of it, which is undocumented immigrants can compete to basically gain citizenship through different challenges. It's basically like The Amazing Race, and the last person standing gets to become an American citizen. Under these kind of draconian times when it comes to immigrants, even some who are here legally, not a great look. And not a great look that she was considering it. But maybe she wasn't.
She is a dog killer.
And so I was like, all right, I think we both are on the same page as far as that's a dumb idea. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
But it kind of opens the conversation for one that you've been wanting to have, which is basically a rant against reality TV.
Yeah, so I generally hate all reality TV.
So all of it. So there's like, if we put them in the buckets, there's the contests like The Amazing Race.
Yeah,
there's the dating contests like
Stupid.
The Bachelor.
None of those people end up together.
There's Top Chef, like those types of contests.
They argue too much about food.
What is there? Like Big Brother.
Housewives.
Oh yeah, all the Housewives, Kardashian shows, like following actual people around.
Pretend they have great lives. And sometimes not so much.
Trying to think, is there a different category
Survivor,
that we're missing?
all the spin-offs of Survivor, all the Celebrity Island shows. They're all like all the sort of
the home makeover shows.
Yeah. Actually, that one would be one I like. But so
HGTV, you're kind of fine. You're fine because you're like, oh, I got ideas. What about cooking shows? What about just general cooking shows?
Because there's too much arguing. It's like what's the guy that always loses his temper? Gordon Ramsay, right?
But that's a contest show. That's like Top Chef.
It's still sort of reality TV to me.
I say it is reality TV. I'm saying like a cooking show, like a cooking, like it's like, here, we're going to cook this thing today. I watch so little reality TV that I don't know a lot of these people.
Let me baseline my
argument.
Dislike. All right.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say I hate all of it and that it all should be banned, but most of it is stupid.
Banned? You think so? A lot? You should
No,
be
I'm saying it shouldn't
Okay.
all be banned, except the Housewives, because that show should never be on TV because it actually makes people that watch it worse human beings. It's just.
Do you have an anecdote to that? Do you know someone who's become a worse person because they watch that show?
No, it's all just generalizations that I make on podcasts. But it's like, I believe it, therefore it must be true. I just see that. See, here's the thing. I actually watched these shows to know what I was talking about. You get these housewives together who apparently have so much money and so much time. They just get in these little conversations and one gets mad, one storms out, one talks about the other's facial reconstruction or plastic surgery they got. That's the essence of the show. And then that's not enough. Then who's that Andy Cohen guy then brings them back together and they fight again and they rehash everything that happened. None of that is positive for our culture. It's just stupidity. And I think people in our culture, in our country, mimic bad behavior. They think this stuff is cool. You can tell by the ratings from some of these things. People watch this stuff. Whether it's my 900-pound life or 600-pound life, whatever that is. I feel bad for a fat person. Don't make it almost like glamorizing being fat, because that's sort of what it is. It's like voyeur show. I don't like
the Hoarders.
Hoarders, another one. It's like, Jesus.
What about
get a crew in there and clean that place out?
So it sounds like you specifically don't like the drama of like the Kardashians, the Real Housewives, where they're like the camera crews are following someone around and they're telling a story based on the drama of these people's lives.
Right. My basic premise is their conduct on the shows has changed the conduct of average Americans.
Do you have any proof of this?
Yes, because I see how people act on social media.
But
I make the
how do you have the causal relationship there besides the correlation?
If I am anything, Kristen Brey,
you're a social scientist?
I'm a social scientist who observes people's behavior. And this could be my PhD project, just because I think it's just ripe for this. Have you
ever just Googled? Like, if you see it, like, if you looked and seen if anyone's
done,
if everyone's actually done studies on this?
I did not do that for the podcast, but I've Googled a lot of stuff. Are you denying that there's lots of media reports that suggest there is a causal effect to people watching this? There's tons of reports on this.
I have not seen any reports that says because of reality TV that is
you should Google it then.
Leading to different behavior, like things I do believe as far as the pandemic and the impact that had on people's behavior and some of the antisocial things that we saw come out of that, and like largely pointing to why crimes like spiked. In general, I think when we talk about phones and the fact that we were less social beings in general because we're all looking at our phones and we have the convenience of everything. DoorDash. Food can get delivered to us. We don't have to leave our house to go to work anymore if we don't, for some people. You don't necessarily have to drive. Like all of these things that are removing us from actually having to engage with other human beings. I think that is a much bigger argument for why we are having antisocial behavior than watching The Housewives.
All the things you mentioned are causes why people are spending more time at home watching reality TV programs.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. But I don't think it's because of the reality TV programs. I think there is a convenience factor to being isolated because we don't want to be inconvenienced. That is adding to bad behavior.
Let me flip it. What's the redeeming quality of reality TV that you see?
Oh, I'm not defending reality. I'm not defending reality TV as far as it being like a net positive. I just don't think it's as destructive as you're framing it to be.
I think it makes us dumber.
I mean, I think a lot of things make us dumber. I think TV
that
probably makes
reality,
us dumber.
Well, TV can. Here's the problem. So we know that people are getting all their news from non-news sources, right? That's
another sweeping generalization. But yes.
I mean, that's sort of one that's
people are getting their news from TikTok and Twitter, from like pundits and people, but not like they're not opening a newspaper or watching the nightly news. Yes.
So therefore, the time they would have spent watching their local news, nightly news, an actual real news program is filled with other things. So why would we not think that whatever percentage of their viewing day is reality TV, that wouldn't be part of that relationship between that and just being not well informed, being more bombastic, being more aggressive, because that's a big part of reality TV.
But what if someone's not watching news and instead watching not reality TV shows, but just dramas and comedies? So like they're still not informed, but they're not watching reality shows.
True, but they're not.
Where do they fall?
Probably not going to be mimicking aggressive behavior or confrontational behavior that you see. This is not controversial, that you see all the time on reality TV. the aggression, the back and forth, the anger, in some cases love. If you're talking about some of Love Island and all these crazy shows, that's things that people mimic because they see it. Everything we do in life, we generally copy from someone else.
I literally just was swiping through something as far as going through like the very problematic 90s movies of like the stories that as a millennial woman we were told as very young girls, right. Like the Julia Roberts movie, My Best Friend's Wedding. No, My Best Friend's Wedding. She literally is an anti-hero, right? Like this is supposed to be this rom-com of this Julia Roberts, most famous woman in the world at the time, like as the star of this movie, and we're rooting for her, even though she's literally sabotaging a wedding where the Cameron Diaz's character is nothing but like a beautiful, nice young girl, and they're somehow like, yes, this was a good idea, but like there's so many stories in fictional movies that told what life was supposed to look like, what romance was supposed to look like. And so that happened way before there was reality TV.
This might be before your time. Officer and a Gentleman.
Never saw it.
Oh, you should watch that movie. But
I'm guessing it's another one that was like kind of problematic. You're like,
I mean, because it doesn't paint a pretty picture of women who like surround, like in this case, fighter pilot guys. Sort of like.
Jersey Chasers, like like groupies,
it
that kind of
very
person.
Positive image of those folks, including one woman getting pregnant by one of them. But anyway, away from that, I just generally look at these things from just my 66-year-old perspective, saying maybe we have too much of it. Maybe we should think about what we put on the air. I'm a guy who likes standards.
Well, here's the thing. So let's go back to, because I remember I was in LA at the rise of reality TV, right? So it's like I moved to LA in 2003, circa 2005, 2006. And before that, Survivor had been a thing. American Idol was a thing. Certainly when I was a kid, Real World and Road Rules on MTV.
I watched Real World, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it was around the writer's strike of like 2007-ish. And there was a huge spike of reality TV shows, and to fill the gap, it was cheaper, but there was also an appetite for it, right? And so it kind of comes back to, do people like get the media that they deserve, or should they get the media that they should like benefits them, right? And so it's like, if these shows continue to have ratings,
I'll answer your question. Because of ratings, and that's how essentially the broadcast model, not necessarily all the other options that are available for viewing content, people get what they deserve because they're the ones that are tuning into this stuff, in whatever way they tune in, whether it's streaming or on a traditional over the air. So we do get what we deserve. I'm not saying that it's not popular.
So
it's popular.
It's making, whether it's making us dumber or we're mimicking the behavior or something, like there's something about it that people are craving. And like, I think, because I've never really, I'm trying to think of reality shows that I've ever gotten invested in. I used to really like So You Think You Can Dance, because the dancing on that show was incredible. Sometimes I think I like when I've been on a long plane ride, like I've gotten into Housewives because they just played back to back to back, but like it was literally because there's nothing else
Did
on.
You feel the brain cells dying as you were sitting on that plane?
For sure. Yeah, and so, but I think like that's my choice as far as how I consume content. I'm not saying you should have a choice. But it's like I also should read more books than I do. True. But instead I watch a lot of high quality TV shows, but still it's not making me as smart as it would if I would just turn it off and open a book.
To answer the question about why people watch it, because we're, I think, innately voyeurs, right? Voyeurs. We love to see what people are up to, and especially when you're talking about the sexual components of these things. The Bachelor and Bachelorette, these people are not going to end up together, but we love to see that dance.
It's because people like to judge other people.
True.
I think it's like, it's the voyeurism, but it's also like the opportunity to shit on other people. Like, if I'm being totally honest, of like to watch the Kardashians, and even though they have so much wealth, so much fame, you can like make fun of them for saying a stupid thing or make fun of their stupid fight or whatever. Yeah. And the same thing with the Housewives of like they expose kind of the petty parts of themselves, and then for anyone who's watching, there's like an enjoyment of feeling a little holier than thou. That's where I think it kind of comes back to, is like that power.
And I think that nails it, because as we've seen the rise of reality TV and the explosion of all the different formats related to that, we've also seen the rise of social media, which not only allows you to watch.
Yeah, because this all predated social media, and now these people become social media stars.
You're not just watching, you're participating, because you're all talking about, especially for the Bachelorette and the Bachelor. I'm on social media. I see what's being talked about, and frankly, that's one reason not to be on social media, because the conversation is moronic, as are the people that are on the shows. So, I mean, for me, that's a perfect example. Rise of reality TV, rise of social media. I would argue a culture that's more interested in not the lazy, but just like the casualness. This is sort of a reach, but the relaxation in standards and codes, and freedom to do whatever you want because you want to do it, right? I want to dress the way I want at work. I want to dress the way I want at a restaurant. I want to have my cell phone up to my ear talking.
So you think all of those behaviors come back to reality television?
It all becomes we essentially mimic what we see, just like an animal in the zoo. If they watch someone that's watching them do it enough, they will start doing what the people are doing because they're staring at them all day in a damn zoo.
So a bear is going to start picking its nose?
He might. Oh my God. Or she might. I love what I just did with that. She might. Yeah. See what I did there? It's so important that I do that.
All right. Other question. How do you feel about traditional game shows?
I used to be into them, not anymore.
You don't have strong feelings about those?
Give me an example and I'll tell you about
it.
With the Match Game, that's still on. What's the one with Drew Carey? Drew Carey. You run
Price
down.
Is Right. Price is Right.
Sort of interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeopardy?
Love Jeopardy.
Wheel of Fortune?
No, I always thought Pat Sajak was sort of a moron, but
well, now it's Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah. Which does Ryan Seacrest need more jobs? And what is the attraction of Ryan Seacrest, by the way? I don't get it.
I think he's just a pro. I think I think it's like he's done so many different things that you know exactly what you're going to get as far as him being able to just come in and do the job and do it effectively. Even he may not be like the most well. I think everyone just kind of like accepts that he's a guy.
When you
he's
watch
out there
something,
doing stuff.
See, I think we differ. This is where we differ. So when you watch something, do you watch to be entertained?
Depends. I want to be challenged in this. Yeah, like it's whether it's learning or to feel something. So it's like, I think about this with like Last of Us, The Pit. Like when you watch something that is intense and exposes something about the human condition that is like interesting and realistic, like that to me that is what's fun and interesting of it. It's like reading good literature, right? And so that is or like a documentary where you're actually learning. So I just learned about this. I just saw a trailer last night for a new Apple documentary. Were you aware? Gallumet University, the deaf university.
Yes.
Were you aware of the week-long protests that they had?
No.
This documentary looks so good, and I've never heard this story before, pun intended, about a protest because they were protesting that they wanted to put a school president.
Oh, this is an old story.
Old story, but it's a new It's a new documentary. I had never heard the original story, and they just
protested and they got their way.
But it's and so you're seeing all these interviews in the documentary of people who are deaf, so they're signing and there's a voiceover. Right. But it's like at least the trailer itself was insane, and so it's Crip something. There was a documentary a couple of years back about a camp for people with disabilities, and so there's things like that as far as the exposure to things you never knew about. Whether it's a documentary or a based off of real events type movie, that's what I really like.
I want to be informed and challenged. So I'll play off your statement that you want to be challenged. So I'm watching TV last night, watching Nova on PBS, and it's about dark matter and dark energy, which is an unseen force in the universe that we don't know anything about, even though we have expert
Not dark magic.
No. Okay. Dark matter, dark energy. And it's unbelievable. All these physicists we've had throughout the last decades that they have no clue about this. Kathy goes, "Why are you watching this?" I'm not an astrophysicist. I'm not a cosmologist, but it's interesting to me that we have all of this knowledge, all of these computers, but we haven't been able to figure out what is essentially like 1/3 of what makes the universe exist. We have no idea.
Yeah, we'll probably get there.
That's what challenge. That's what
AI should be used for.
It's a broad example of just
But not everyone's like this. Right?
I want them to be.
I
aspire
want them to be
people.
Too, but I think this is
the
thing. This is where it's like goes back to like, all right, why are these shows popular? And so it's like I think about in the next gradation of why do I not pick up a book? Because at the end of the day, I kind of just want to relax, right? And like it's a lot easier for my brain to scroll, even though it's not better for my brain. It's a lot easier for my brain to either scroll or watch TV than actually pick up a book. And the same thing can be said. At least like the things that I want to engage with are well written, visually and intellectually a little bit more stimulating. But like the next thing down it's the same reason for, I would say, most of the people that I know who like to watch different reality shows. They just want to check out. Like, they just want something that's like light and fluffy and escape from their day or escape from their workload. And so, like, I don't know how you move people past that, because I think it ultimately comes back to people are tired at the end of the day.
It will move, because we know that the history of entertainment, it changes, right? We had the radio plays of the 30s, 40s, and 50s. We had early television, black and white. Essentially the same thing, only now with people, walking and talking. And then the color came in. We had the rise of the sitcom, right? The All in the Family. Everybody tuned in. There's like 4 channels. Everybody watched that. Mm-hmm. Then we saw the rise of the MASHes, those kind of programs, and everything. Who's the Boss, and all the way up to the CSIs and all those shows. It evolves. My hope is that reality TV at some point evolves past what it is. It's not smart. It may be entertaining to some people. I don't think it's helpful.
I still think you're drawing a very broad blanket of reality TV.
Because I don't know that there's at this point, any science behind me saying that. But doesn't mean I can't say it, and it certainly doesn't mean that there may not be something there. That's the point that I'm trying to make. I want people to be better, and this is why I say this, because we do a radio show. Every day on that radio show, we have our text line. There's always a few people that just aren't getting it, or just are not there for the right reasons, although they're still listening, which is sort of an odd oxymoron. But that frustrates me. I want people to be better informed. If we're going to complain about stuff, then know what you're talking about.
You can swear on this.
I can. I didn't. Because this one we don't have to put a disclaimer on, because neither one of us is sworn.
I think I did.
Oh, did Kristen swear already?
I think you did too.
Oh, did I? Did I miss that? I was so passionate about what I believe about this. Do I think reality TV should be banned? No. Would I like to see less of it? Absolutely. Okay. Would I like to see us be smarter, listen better, be nicer to each other? Absolutely. That's part of, I think, the goal here. And I just don't want to see us not fall victim to, but just be consumed by nonsense. Because when you put nonsense in, you get nonsense out. That's the deal.
All right.
I want people to be smarter.
I want people to be smarter.
Like we are, sort of, some days.
Some days.
When
not
we're
experts.
At our best behavior.
Not experts, smart. But like got a lot of opinions. All right.
You need to listen.
You need to listen. That was this one. This is episode 10.
Episode 10. Happy 10.
Happy 10.
Nice.
We're also past a month for Point Taken.
Yeah, it's our new show. If you haven't checked it out, available everywhere, and of course at 620 WTMJ Milwaukee, and WTMJ.com you can find our show.
Yep, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Monday through Friday. We would love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. I am kbrey@goodkarmabrands.com.
Did you change your email?
No.
Oh, okay. Mine is steve.scaffidi@WTMJ.com. I actually have 2 emails here, and there's 2 F's in Scaffidi and 1 D. So get that right, because otherwise I won't get it. And last thing. This podcast is very well listened to, but you know what's missing on this podcast?
Reviews?
No, we get plenty of reviews.
I mean, like the actual reviews on the podcast.
Yeah,
on
please
like
do
Apple
that.
And Apple and Spotify.
You pay more attention to that too. We need a sponsor for this podcast.
Oh,
there's a company out there that would benefit from the thousands of people who consume this podcast every day on their drives to work, to their cabins in Wisconsin, to their wherever they're going, Brewers games. Because I run into those people all the time. If you own a company, it's actually pretty affordable. Don't ask me what it is, but it's cheap.
We'll give you a deal.
Well, I won't give you a deal, but Kristen might.
I might.
Yeah. So
I'm not a good negotiator.
How can you not sponsor this podcast? So when I say you need to listen to that piece of it as well.
And you need to sponsor. All right. We will see you again in 2 weeks. Don't forget to rate, review, share with a friend, and shoot us an email if you have feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Yeah. Until then,
ciao.
Adios.